Social abuse is when your partner intentionally isolates you from your support system, your family, friends, church, or even your workplace. The goal here is simple and obvious: control. It often starts with them stopping you from visiting family or attending family gatherings. They criticize or insult your friends until you cut them off. Your friend doesn't like me, I don't like your friend, and so on. They monitor your phone, calls, messages, or social media, or they even block you from working or schooling, so you have no contact with the outside world. With time, you begin to feel lonely, you lose your confidence, and when there's a serious problem, you have no one to run to because your abuser has already cut off your lifeline. Imagine, when in fact, God did not design us to be isolated. True love connects, it doesn't cut off. Let's talk about cultural abuse. This happens when somebody forces you to abandon or change your culture, traditions, your language, or values against your own will. This abuse is a very subtle but dangerous form of abuse because it attacks your identity directly. You are being forced to stop speaking your native language, you're being mocked or belittled, or you're even being forced to practice another culture against your will. This can make someone lose their sense of self. They begin to feel ashamed of where they come from and they start living with an identity that is not theirs. For instance, imagine a man telling his wife, "Don't cook your traditional food in my house because it embarrasses me." Can you imagine? Over time, she begins to lose her pride and her heritage, when in fact, the Bible emphasizes that from one man, God created the nations throughout the whole earth, and he decided beforehand that they should rise and fall, and he determined by himself their boundaries. Listen, God himself chose your culture, your tribe, your heritage. No one has the right to erase that. Cultural abuse is not just an attack on you, it's an attack on God's intentional design for your life. Finally, let's talk about spiritual abuse. This is one of the most painful forms of abuse because it mixes God's name with control and manipulation. Hey, spiritual abuse in marriage happens when one partner misuses scripture, faith, or even spiritual authority to dominate, silence, or manipulate the other person. For example, the husband twisting the Bible verse, "Wife, submit to your husband," into a license for tyranny. Or the wife twisting the Bible verse, "The husband, love your wives," to manipulate her husband to do something that is obviously incapable of doing. You want to collect money from him and you are using the Bible to say you don't love him. Also, forcing your partner to attend a particular church against their will. This one, if you married a Muslim and you already had an agreement that the person has to practice your religion, and now you're trying to force the person to practice your religion, it is abuse. Using God as an excuse for violence and saying things like, "God put me in charge, so you don't question me." This one is combined abuse. Some abusers even go as far as telling their spouse that